However, I am talking about another medicine. The name of the medicine is the Tellurium. Okay, so Tellurium metallic, it is nothing but a metal. Okay, the metal which is very useful, especially in case of the skin disease. Tellurium, the spelling is the Tellurium, Tellurium and metallicum. But in empirically, it is to be called the Tellurium. So, if you go through the body, you will get in details. Apart from this, what is the use of the Tellurium? We don't know. So, I am giving some hints to the practical hints from the books, as also from my own experiences and from other clinical experiences. Just I am giving some ideas that may helpful in the long run, and that will be beneficial for you. So, Tellurium, although it is a metal, mostly Tellurium is action especially on the skins, and especially skins and the nervous system, and the eye and ear is the main symptoms. Plus, it has some other organs where they are producing the sign symptoms and the sign symptoms and producing it accordingly. Usually it acts on the skin and especially marked on the skin disease. What is happening there? There is the round shaped skin disease, especially the ringworm is very important of the Tellurium. And what is happening? This is to be called the herpes carcinosus. Herpes carcinosus is a symptomatically that is mostly important of the Tellurium. The whole, sometimes it has been found, the whole body is undergoes the symptoms of the skin, and there is the skin disease that is also found. So, whenever the skin disease, especially the herpes carcinata or the eczema or the ringworm is throughout the whole body, we can think of the Tellurium in that cases. So, इसीलिए क्या करने का जब देखते कि throughout the whole body, the Tellurium is also one of the medicine, and having the excessive itching of the skin and other parts, especially while uncovering or while in the cold and something else. Even not only that, whenever it is the affect the whole body, so we can think of the another medicine, that is the basilinum also. So basilinum is a medicine, tuberculinum, basilinum. The basilinum is also one of the important medicine where this type of symptoms is to be found. Whole body is undergoes this type of skin disease. ठीक है ना? इसलिए Tellurium excessive itching भी है. Even undressing में, while undressing, it is producing the sign, symptom and so on. Even there, it has some action upon the spinal cord and the ear, eye symptoms. They are even not only that, this ear symptoms is also very important. If there is any oozing from the ear, if there is an otitis media, so in that cases also this Tellurium also acts very beneficially. There is the pains, very sensitive to back, very sensitive to nervous system, very sensitive to lumbar region, and all over the whole body. Even over offensive discharges are also there. That is the which is coming from the ear or from the nose or from the eyes. So whatever may be discharges, sometimes it happens, especially the ear discharges, otorrhea is highly offensive. There is the slow development of the symptoms are very important, and sacral and sciatic pain are also important. So any symptoms which is gradually slowly appearing, in that condition you can think of this Tellurium. Also another medicine is that is the radium. ठीक है ना? इसलिए Tellurium has some lots of importance, although this sphere of action is very small level and usually from in the skin or the nervous system or the spinal cord or the ear or anywhere. So we have to think on that way, that is the offensive discharges are very characteristic of this drug. Next number is the head. The neglected and forgetful head, they are the very neglectful and forgetful. Usually they are forgetful in nature and they seems they are the neglected. Even kabhi sometimes what you find in the head, in the scalp, there is some skin diseases are there which are also very neglected, and some skin disease and some other complication are there also, and ringworm also in there. We can consider the tellurium. Even the head and the forehead above the eye is also very important. Distortion and twitching of the left facial muscles are there. Distortion and twitching of the facial muscles are there. Of the facial muscles, torsion and twitchings. So in case of the twitching, other medicine are also in the available in the homeopathic, that is the Mygil, another is the agaricus. These two medicine, even another is the ginkgum, phosphorus, these are also having the same symptoms, where there is the twitchings of the muscles, especially any other part of the body. But here it is to be spoken that the facial muscle is also twitching or other complications. When speaking to left angles of the mouth drawn upwards and to the left, so kabhi dekha gaya the left angles of the mouth or left face becomes distorted, and that is the twitchings or they are drawn towards the left side. That means there may be some paralytic condition or other conditions for which we can think of the fear of being touched and sensitive place. So these are also having the very sensitiveness to touch and particular area. There is the congestion to head and the nape of the neck, and followed by weakness and faintness in stomach, itching of the scalp, and red spot is also there. So what will find itching of the scalp is very important. I already told about you about the Tellurium. This medicine is very important medicine for the purpose of the skin disease. So there we will find there may be somewhere that the red spots, itching of the scalp, and faintness in the stomach is also there. Another thing is that the eyes, the lids, of course, the lids are become very easily infected by the tellurium. There the lids are also itching, severe itching. There is the dandruff, there is the thickened, inflamed, itching, pterygium, pustular, conjunctivitis, cataract condition, following ocular lesions, and aids the absorption of infiltration and iris and choroid. So in case of the falling ocular muscles, also lesion also there. Even adds to the absorption of infiltration in the iris or the choroid. ये भी सबसे बड़ा symptom है. If any fluid is collected in the iris muscles in between and the choroid, then also this medicine helps a lot. Even if there is a pterygium or the pustular conjunctivitis and there is a leads that become thickened, and if there is severe itching, we can think of these drugs. Next over ears, there is the eczema, usually behind the ears. It is also another very important symptoms of the tellurium. Even there is the cattle symptoms of the ear. It is also another very important symptoms of the tellurium. There is the offensiveness, there is the discharges are there, and discharge becomes a very acrid, smells like that of the fish pickles, fish bone, fish pickles. There is the severe itching, swelling, throbbing in the meatus, and the deafness is also present in the ears. So in ear problem, we must consider this medicine. Eczema, behind the another medicine, one is the petroleum is also there, another is the graphitis. Okay, these two medicine are very important, and third number is the tellurium, is a very important medicine for the purpose of the ears. So cataract of the belly bone already from the very beginning. The cataract of the middle ear is also very important. There is some itching are also there. There is the swelling of the middle ear, and throbbing in the meatus. Throbbing in the meatus is also very important. There is also deafness is very important. Nose, coryza, lacrimation and hoarseness is also very important. ठीक है ना? So this medicine having the coryza, lacrimation and hoarseness, these are also three characteristic symptoms of the this Tellurium metallicum. So there is the coryza, another is the lacrimation from the nose, and lacrimation from the eyes, and hoarseness also another symptoms. Better in open air. So Ilium sipa is also another remedy. So nose becomes obstructed, hawkish, slightly flame, salty flame from the posterior nares is also found. So in these cases, nose, the coryza, lacrimation and hoarseness is one of the very important symptoms of these drugs, that is the Tellurium metallicum. And better in open air, another medicine is also pulsatilla, tuberculinum. So tuberculinum, pulsatilla, sulfur, natronol, these are also there. Where there is the nose symptoms are also. Even Ilium sipa, there is the ammunition in the open air also. The nose sometimes becomes obstructed, hawks, salty flame from posterior nares, stomach, craving very important is the stomach symptom, very important, the excessive craving for the apples. So if we see the Tellurium metallicum, there is the extreme craving for the apples is also very important symptoms of the Tellurium. Another is the empty and weak feeling of the heartburn. So empty and weak feeling in the heartburn is also another characteristic symptoms of the Tellurium. So empty and weakness feeling in the heartburn. In case of the pruritus valvi or in the perineum, there is the severe itching and there is the perineal pain after the stool. This is also symptom. So sometimes there may be some itching eruptions are there, and somewhere there is the pain and after the stool, and especially in the perineal region. These are also another characteristic symptoms of these drugs. If we see the back the pain in the sacrum is also another very important symptoms of the this medicine. ठीक है ना? तो टेलुरियम का जो और एक sacral pain and the और क्या ना pain from the least cervical to the last cervical to the fifth dorsal vertebra is also very important. So pain in the cervical vertebra, pain in the cervical vertebra is also very important. Last cervical vertebra to fifth dorsal vertebra, the pain very sensitive, worse touch and touch both China sulf and the phosphorus is very important. So one worse touch, China sulf and phosphorus, sciatica, worse right side, sciatica, worse from the right side and worse from the cough, straining and at night. So sciatica pain, worse at night, coughing and straining at night is also, but any type of movement is also very important. And the vertebral column is very much sensitive to touch. And और एक बात है, that is the contraction of the tendons, especially the bends of the knee joint. ठीक है ना? तो कभी कभी ये symptoms भी एक very important है, जो which is very sensitive to vertebral column and pain in the contraction of the tendons and the bends of the skin is also very important. ठीक है ना? Next number, if we see the another symptoms is skin, the itching, hands and the feet is also very important. Itching, hands and the feet is also very important. I already told about these drugs. The herpetic eruptions, here also it is also major role. And so tuberculinum, another medicine is also there. In case of this herpetic eruption, herpetic stops are there, ringworm bhi hai, and tuberculinum is also one of the medicine for the case of the herpetic eruptions. The ring-shaped lesions are also seen. The offensive odors from affected part is there. Offensive odor from affected part. Usually the ringworm, ring-shaped lesions, itching of the body, hands and the extremities. There is the herpetic eruptions. In that cases, we can think of this Tellurium metallicum. Even this is also one of the important medicine in case of the Barberries vulgar, Barber's itch. So in case of the Barber's itch, this is also one of the important. The another medicine is the Cicuta virusa, sulfur iode, sulfur and rhododendron. Even some had the iridium brome. Okay, so in different places, different medicine is to be useful and so on. So if the ring civilizations, offensive odor from the affected part is very important. Barberis is also there. Stinging pain in the skin is also important. Stinging pain. Next number, the fetid exhalations, durgandhayukta discharges, offensive discharge are also very important symptoms of these drugs, tellurium, as also the sulfur. So whenever sulfur tellurium fails, then we can think of the sulfur, and sulfur and tellurium also acts very beneficially in case of this type of problems. Then besides this, there is the offensive foot sweat is also another symptoms. हमारे पास बहुत सारी मेडिसिन है. offensive में सालिशिया है, बैराइटाकर्ब है, शोराइनम है, बैप्टिशिया है, okay, कार्बोवेज है. These are the medicine where there is the offensiveness of the sweating and this and that. Offensive odor from the affected part, Barber's stinging on the skin, fetid exhalation, durgandhayukta आया है. Sulfur, offensive foot sweat, ये भी एक बड़ी बात है. Eczema back of the ears and occiput, circular patch of the eczema is also one of the very important factor of the medicine. Then if we go through in details, the modalities, if we see it about the modalities, so in case of the worse aggravation at night, moderate aggravation at night and at rest conditions. ठीक है ना? At night, at rest conditions. Even cold weather aggravations from frictions also important. While coughing, this is also important. Laughing, this is also important. Lying on the painful side and touch, this is also one of the important symptoms. Next number, अगर ये modalities के बारे में देखा गया, तो rest, during rest, even the during aggravation at the night, even the cold weather, and from the friction is also very important, especially within the clothes. If there is only some friction with the skin disease on the clothes, there is a chances of the skin disease usually aggravates. There may be sometimes burning sensation in the skin disease, which is very burning. That also may important of these drugs. Even the laughing and coughing is also very important. While laughing and coughing, there may be aggravation from the laughing and coughing is very important, and these symptoms are mostly important related with the either other medicine, laughing and alumina, drosera, sponge is also very important medicine, laughing and coughing. Lying on the painful side is also one of the important medicine, especially maybe the skin or maybe other disease. The touch is also important. If we see comparison, in case of the, if we compare it, the radium is also one of the medicine. I told you there are so many disease conditions which are very slowly developing. Okay, so slowly developing is also important symptoms of the radium brome. तो radium brome का patient का जो भी कुछ symptoms है वो धीरे धीरे बढ़ने रहते हैं. Another is the selenium. Selenium is also one of the medicine. Usually selenium का the skin problem associated with the sexuality, excessive sexuality. Selenium is also one of the medicine. Even selenium में और क्या देख सकते हैं, skin problem. Okay, so in case of the skin problem, the selenium is also one of the medicine, and selenium has some other complication, other sign symptoms. Next is the bismuth, tellurium and sulfur is a very important medicine for the case of the coccydynemia. So then question of what is coccydynemia? There is the pain in the coccyx region. That is very important. So in case of the coccydynemia, the tellurium is one of the medicine, and ulceration of the nails is also very important symptoms. Pains in the hands and small joints and ankles, heels and tendinitis. These are the symptoms are found in case of these drugs. That is the Acarifa indica and some others. Even ulceration of the nails, pains and hands in small spots, ankle, heel and tendinitis. The medicine is the CP arsenic and the Rastax is also very important. So if we see the sulfur and tellurium in case of the coccydynemia and also ulceration, these two medicines are acts beneficially. Sometimes after selenium, we can think of the sulfur. Even after sulfur also, in case of the skin disease, when it is to be found in particular area, we can think of these drugs. And lying on the painful side also very important. Next, ulceration of the nails is very important. Pain in the hands and small of the joints, ankles, heels and tendinitis is also important. Arsenic and the arsenic, CPR and the Rastax is also important. 6 potency and higher also is also important. Takes long time to develop its action, which is very prolonged. 6 mostly dekha gaya 6 acts beneficially. Even the maximum 30, not more than that. Somebody prefers the 15 potency in case of the skin disease, and that acts very beneficial without any danger or any aggravation. So another thing from other collection, from other books, if we discuss it, it is a very important medicine for the formation of the pus in the middle ear. That is a very important symptoms. And perforation of the membrane tympani is also another symptoms of the tellurium. तो कान में टेलुरियम एक तो स्किन एक तो एक्जिमा है, प्लस कान में और एक प्रॉब्लम आ सकते, that is the tympanic membrane में perforation and so on. Next number is tellurium causing the catarrh of the ear, catarrh of the middle ear, which may penetrate into the cells of the mastoid process and establishes an abscess there. कभी-कभी क्या देखा ये tellurium, whenever tellurium, where it usually affects the tympanic membrane and for a long continued ulceration, there may be perforation, and sometimes this mastoid bone are also affected by these drugs. So this is also one of the very important medicine, and both the internal and external ear is also important involved. Itching and swelling with painful throbbing in the external meatus. It is also another symptoms of the tellurium. Now, itching and swelling with the painful throbbing in the external meatus. ठीक है ना, हमेशा देखो ऐसे ऐसे देखो तो बहुत सारे लोगों ये करते टेलुरियम ऐसे करते, बहुत लोगों देखोगे मार्केट में. What is this? और नहीं तो कभी कोई सेफ्टी पिन और कोई मैस स्टिक लेके के इसको रोटेट करते and itching करते. These patients are also maybe useful for these patients, maybe useful of the tellurium. Okay. Next number देखो जी, it is in 3 or 4 days the external में अच्छा. The discharges of watery fluid smelling like the fish pickles is also found. कुछ दिन को बाद देखा गया जाते उसमें जो discharges होते हैं वो मछली का माफिक बास आ जाते हैं, और which causes the vesicles wherever it touches and ears is blisters as if edematous. So कोई भी जगह से अगर ऐसे टच हो गया वो डिस्चार्जेस है तो ब्लिस्टर फॉर्मेशन होते हैं, इडिमास हो जाता है, हियरिंग इंपेयर्ड हो जाता है, समझे ना. सो हियरिंग इंपेयर्ड इज आल्सो वन ऑफ द basic important symptoms of these drugs. Several cases have been cured by using 6 potency in these cases. Okay. Next number, the higher potency are also generally not efficacious, जो मैं पहले बोल चुका हूँ. तो lower potency 6 or 30 potency is mostly beneficial in case of the tellurium. Next, persistent fetid odor from the body. Fetid odor from the body, it is very important symptoms of these drugs. So whenever it is odor persistent fetid odor, we can think. Even the breath has also some very offensive discharges to some extent, like that of the garlic. तो कभी कभी अब देखा गया जो माउथ गर्लिक अल्सर garlic smell from the mouth is also very important symptoms of the drugs. Okay. Next number, garlic smell from the mouth is very important of the this tellurium, and garlic odor. Even not only that, garlic sweat from the body is also important symptoms of the tellurium metallica. ठीक है ना? तो garlic का smell, even the garlic sweating, garlic smell like sweating also very important of the tellurium. Don't neglect these symptoms of the tellurium. Another thing is that it is a great important remedy for the cases of the ringworm, which I already told about these drugs. And ringworm specially. Okay. So ringworm specially of the face and the body. तो ringworm के लिए सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम होते हैं. Even sometimes it face and body, even the whole body is affected by this drug, affected by this ringworm. Even so, ringworm में क्या देखेंगे? Excessive itching, small ringworm, or sometimes patchy, or coinciped, and sometimes there is the itching eruptions are there. The whole body becomes undergoes the ringworm, and face is there, more pronounced on lower limbs. और एक शब्द बोल दिया. कभी कभी देखा गया जो ringworm special on the face and the body तो है ही, साथ साथ more pronounced on the lower limbs is also very important. Body covered with elevated rings, like the elevated and rings of the ringworm is also very important. कभी कभी हम देखते हैं ना बॉडी में ringworm जो elevated हो जाता and with severe itching eruptions are there. We can think of these drugs. And body thick covered with the elevated rings of ringworm, very important. Next number is that is the ringworm and any part of the body. This is also another very important symptoms of these drugs. So it is a ringworm empirically. Mostly these drugs are to be used for the ringworm and the that is the skin disease and the ear problem, or that is the otorrhea. इसके लिए ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल हो जाते हैं. Next, the body thickly covered with elevated rings. Ringworm in any part of the body, they become the red elevated ring, very distinctly marked with minute itching vesicles. Okay, so ringworm के साथ minute vesicles itching भी हैं, और rings very lower and extremities. So इसलिए कभी कभी क्या देख लेते हैं, lower extremities का सबसे ज़्यादा भी problem है. What's at night after going to the bed? Very important characteristic symptoms of the drugs. इसलिए ringworm not only the whole body, or in the face and mouth, or in the head, but also lower extremity, that is also become affected by these drugs, or by this, and can be cured by these drugs. Even there is the elevated skin is also there, and excessive itching is also there. Even with the water excretions fluid is also there, and smelling of the usually smelling of the fish bream. Even जो discharges होते हैं ये का, I mean that is the tellurium का, वो fetid bream और fishy bream, जो मास्क मछली धोने के बाद जो पानी रहते हैं उसका जो बास आते हैं, ऐसे वहाँ पे इसका fish bream का ऐसे वहाँ पे smell आते हैं. So even fish bream smell, especially in the sepia का leucorrhea में भी मिलते हैं. But yeah, ringworm on sacrum and perineum is also very important. Ringworm, sacrum and perineum is also very important. What is the aggravation night, going to the bed, vesicles filled with watery excreting fluid, and smelling like the fish bream is also very important. Excreting fluid, smelling like the fish bream is also very important. Eczema behind the ear already told. When someone removed part of the body, or the shirt that is hot on sunlight touching is also painful in part, try this remedy. और एक शब्द explanation दिए, acne calcium medicine bole Dr. Bhanjar. Now when some remote part of the body is hard on slightly touching a painful part, try this remedy. और एक शब्द बोला जो बाहर कोई एक्सट्रीमिटी पार्ट जो पेरिफेरी पार्ट है उसमें थोड़ा टच करने के बाद जैसे का टचिंग टू द body is hearted and slight touching, a very painful part is there, very sensitive to sore to the spine is also important, very sensitive to sore of the spine is also very important. The potency usually 6 and 30 is also very important in these cases, so we must consider it. And very sensitive on the spine is very important. Even other drugs are also there, where there is the agaricus is also there, where there is the, as in calibrom is also ginkam is also important medicine for the cases of the this type of problem. Okay, we can think another medicine also next to it. Okay, bye.